Hi everyone, and welcome to the Culinary Classroom. I am Michelle Bisbee, the Culinary Specialist with the National School Lunch Program. In this video here, we're going to make a simple cheeseburger soup. This particular recipe only credits towards your meat alternate, but it is a great way to use up a couple of USDA products. You can use USDA ground beef or beef crumbles if that is what you have on hand, USDA cheese, and even USDA flour in making this recipe. Soups can be a little bit intimidating sometimes if you're not used to making them, but I'm hoping that this video will show you that soups are easy for anyone to make. So the first thing we want to do is we want to brown off our beef. So I'm going to turn on my burner over here and put it up to about medium heat because I don't want it to burn on me. So we definitely want to make sure that we're mixing it around while it's cooking so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. All right, now that our beef is just about completely browned off, we're going to actually take this, remove it from the heat, and I'm going to put my ground beef into a bowl that I have here set to the side. All right, now I'm going to stay right in this, working in this pot here. If you're doing this in a larger scale, you can do it in a tilt skillet or a steam kettle, and you can just scoop the ground beef right out of there and even leave that grease right in there, because the next thing we're going to do is create a roux. So a roux is used to thicken soups and sauces and things like that, and it always combines a fat with flour. So having that grease in the bottom of your pan will actually just add a little bit more flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and put my butter here in the pan, maybe, and get that melting. So now that our butter is melted, we're going to add in our flour. And I recommend using a whisk at this point. So you want to whisk it together so you have a nice smooth paste. And I'm going to turn down my heat a little bit just so I don't burn the flour. You want to make sure to do this for thickening and cook off that flour, otherwise you'll have that floury taste in it. And actually the more you cook it, you'll end up with like a nutty flavor to the flour mixture here. So once that is cooked and you have a nice paste, you can then go ahead and add in your milk. This milk has been warmed. That helps to keep the roux from clumping up when you mix it in, but you also want to make sure that as you're adding it, you are mixing it as you go. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn up my heat. And at this time, while we're waiting for this to come up to a boil, we want to go ahead and add in our beef base. In this particular instance, I'm actually using beef bouillon, but I know that through commercial vendors and things like that, it is really easy to get a beef base, which mixes in a lot smoother. What you're going to do now is while you're waiting for this to come up to a boil, you're going to continuously stir it. You should notice it starting to thicken up as it goes. So now that our soup is almost at a boil and you can see it starting to thicken up, we want to go ahead and add our ground beef and our cheese and cheese sauce to the pot. So we have our ground beef, I got some shredded cheddar, you can use yellow or white, and I just have some basic cheese sauce. If you want to spice it up a little bit, you could use a nacho cheese sauce. That's possible as well, but I wouldn't suggest it for the younger ones. And once the cheese is in there, you want to make sure that you're stirring again to help really incorporate that in there. If you're using a yellow cheddar cheese, you'll see the soup starting to change color, and because of that cheese that you've just added, it will actually thicken up even more. So this is a really thick, hearty soup. Now that we have everything incorporated, I'm going to go ahead and shut my burner off and carry this right over here. And you can see that we have a nice, hearty cheeseburger soup here that goes great with a dinner roll. A salad would be a great combination with this. So then all you're going to do at that point is ladle it up and serve it to your students. A great garnish to have available on the side is some diced tomatoes, maybe even. And a 6-ounce serving of this will give you a 2-ounce meat alternate. So enjoy.